5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
This is 14 North Radio with Mikey Solis, Sean Miller, and Jared Benstick.
Hey, we're back again for another episode of the podcast. And today, we finally got Catie from downstairs to come on the podcast.
Catie from downstairs.
I love how that sounds. It's like the perfect title.
We let her out from downstairs.
Catie works downstairs from us, and we're always bugging her to get on the podcast.
And I've been awfully busy downstairs.
Really busy.
Mm-hmm.
She's referring to the time she flaky McFlakersoned us, but that's all right.
That'd be like 3 times.
Yeah.
But she's here now. And we
Mikey told me today if you did not come in, that he was going to leave a box of Frosted Flakes at your door.
For people who know me, that shouldn't be surprising. I am the worst. I often make plans and forget I've had them.
I feel like I'm getting worse in my age. I'm just like, I'm too lazy to even call people back and be like, fuck it. I'm just going to sit here. I'm getting worse.
Yeah.
Is that what you're doing?
Yeah. Sorry.
My brother was here over the weekend, and he was like, I hate it when people can't just respond to my text message. It takes 2 seconds. I don't care. Nobody's that busy that you can't say, like, okay, or whatever it is. He gets infuriated by it. And it doesn't bother me.
I'm
really.
notorious for not responding to evites, which should be.
Yeah,
it's totally poor etiquette. You get them in. I mean, all you have to do is click yes or no.
But I don't know.
Could not be easier.
I don't know what my plans are 2 weeks from now. I have no idea.
I
live
pressure.
by the seat of my pants, Catie.
But
You got
in
stuff to do.
in your realm of like, I don't want to say flaking because it's such a dick thing.
In your world of flakiness.
In your world of flaking, do
Yes.
you find it's easier like when you gotta say I'm gonna cancel plans? Is it like roll off like nothing? Because for me, when I gotta call and cancel
You feel
something,
awful?
I'm like,
It
man,
feels bad.
I try to come up with a lie when I really don't even need to come up with a lie.
You could just say I'm
I can just
busy.
say, yeah, dude, you know I'm super
I gotta
tired.
work. Yeah. Yeah, I never want to let people down. And not that like my presence is so awesome, but I figure like
It isn't here today.
Well,
I can
And we
feel
got 2 little pups in here, too.
yeah, they're being well behaved. I don't know. Maybe Gary did drug them.
For now.
it. Yeah, right.
They're being okay. They'll be fine as long as they're on the
So
floor.
you're saying how like do you feel bad or do you have it down so good now that you could just be like, yeah, I'm not going, and then everybody's like, yeah, Katie's not coming.
Generally, I have a couple of friends who know I'm a big flake, and so they force me to go to stuff. And
They don't take your shit. Then.
No. And one in particular is she's an only child, and so I feel like she kind of treats me like a younger sister and is like, no, you're going and you're picking me up and we're driving to Santa Ana for a damn baby shower.
Santa Ana.
Yeah. And
That's far.
That's
I looked
far.
at it the other day. From where we're at here in the studio to Santa Ana is a clip, man. It's like,
About an hour and a half.
Yeah, straight line distance. But in Los Angeles, you're not getting there in an hour and a half.
Is that where the horse track is?
No, that's Santa Anita.
Santa Anita. Okay.
It's where the winds come from.
That's where I was last weekend.
You were in Santa
You were in
Anita?
Santa
Or
Anita?
Santa Ana?
I was at Santa Anita for the barbecue competition.
Oh, yeah. We need to talk
yes.
about that.
Segue it.
There you go.
Ooh,
So
look at
Catie,
that.
Like that, bringing
Steered
it home.
aside from being a girl, and we weren't just trying to get her in for that reason, Catie does competition barbecue,
I do.
and she is a landscape
I am a residential contractor and a landscape designer.
designer.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'm a fan of that because it's kind of in my like blood. You know what I mean? But you know what I
We'll let
really
you say
You
it,
like
Mikey.
trees?
Yeah, I love trees. We
You
all
get,
know what we're talking about.
lawnmowers for your birthday?
Yeah, right?
It's horrible. I just pinged the racist
The electric
quota.
ones too, where I'm like, what is this?
Yeah.
No, you know what I really love about landscapers
No.
is that just that
I can't even fathom.
just
They're
like
his cousins.
you know the random ones that are just like because there's a million landscape
Yes.
people, but their cards. You ever see their
Oh,
business
yeah.
cards? It's like something out of a drug dealer's house with just like this lush palm trees that don't even grow here, and these swimming pools and these Colombian naked chicks in it, and it was just like they don't do that.
I had,
Vistaprint.
I had the best one. This guy gave me a landscape card, and he had rocks inside in a bag stapled to it. I was like, why would you give me 3 rocks?
Because they leave it on your doorstep and then they know it doesn't blow away.
Ooh, there you go.
Oh.
Oh, learning all the tricks of the
Boom.
trade. Thank you, Kate.
Boom. Graduate school right there.
But he handed it
Right
to
there.
me.
Well, that was just foolish.
I was like, I don't want rocks.
That's just a stupid move. I wouldn't hire him.
Rocks.
I would call myself a landscape artist.
You are, but you don't even have a yard.
No, that's what if I had
he
that
had the
title.
Oh, I thought you were.
Okay.
I thought that's how you were referring to yourself now, Jared. I was like,
That's your new name.
I was like,
That's my new name.
I've never heard you talk about that. Anyway, so we'll definitely get into that, but let's get right into the
Competitive barbecue?
Competitive barbecue.
Yes.
How did you get thrust into that?
So my husband and I have always tailgated for USC football games. And
Go Trojans.
Yeah, fight on. And he got really into this show while he was on the road for work called Barbecue Pitmasters. And he started watching it and called me and was like, they have a barbecue school in rural Georgia. Let's,
So
go
out of an
there.
inspiration from a TV show,
Yes.
you guys did like
We don't have kids.
Right, but
so
you couldn't
we
have
can
done,
kind of
like,
do shit like that.
Monster Garage or
Yeah, he's gonna. I need a welder.
Top Shot. I mean,
He is. I love my husband dearly. We've been together for 15 years. He is the most. You okay over there? He is the
Thinking about
most
barbecue.
Landscape
Yeah.
artist. Are you still alive?
He's the most unhandy person in the entire world.
Aw.
And it's okay. He knows that's not his thing. But luckily, because I'm a contractor, I got that part covered. At this point, we got very little. We got the dogs, so you hire a dog sitter. That's pretty easy.
It's obviously a cool hobby. Sean and his brother are big into it.
Yeah.
I dabble in it a little bit. And I'm the kind of guy that I'll just throw the thermometer in there and whip some shit together, but it still comes out good. These guys get crazy. I mean, to the point.
Not too crazy.
No, dude, it's like it dropped 2 degrees in like 4 seconds, man.
Yeah,
We gotta get
well, you
that
gotta
shit.
keep on that shit.
Temperature control.
Yeah,
Are we
yeah,
allowed to
but-
swear? We are allowed to swear.
Haven't you,
yes?
have you
I've
ever
only
done
just
a
said like the F word like 40
Okay,
times already.
I don't pay a lot of
Have you ever
attention.
done a pig, Sean? Or you've always wanted to?
We wanted to do a whole pig.
We wanted to
talked
do a
about it.
whole hog, but it's either I'm going to destroy my yard by putting bricks down and doing it that way, or we got to build it.
No, it's
Or
more
you get
excuses.
a chine. You get the
Those hillbilly
China box.
microwaves.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not really cooking though. I mean,
What
we
are you
wanna-
talking? See, again, that's what I'm talking
well.
about.
It's not. It's more like a grill.
I gotta
it's
tell-
not so much smoking it.
We
Yeah,
ju-
it's
it-
not smoking.
We just want to eat this thing. That's it.
well,
But
I
it's
mean,
not really cooking.
No, but
though.
you want to smoke it. You want to.
It's going to come out good. It's going to fall apart for you.
So when you go to barbecue school,
Mm-hmm.
the first thing you do when you get there is they have a 250-pound hog.
What school
and-
is this again?
It's so Myron Mixon, who is quote the winningest man in barbecue, lives down in Unadilla, Georgia, which is like an old peanut growing town. Are we good?
Yeah, we're good.
What?
We were already,
Breathing into the mic.
rogue
Oh,
breathing.
Creeped out. I don't know what's happening.
Stalker behind Katie, like
And
barbecue.
so you get there. It's like 2.5 hours south by car from Atlanta. And you get down there, and the first day you show up, they have a whole hog ready to go, and they have these huge smokers.
It's
So-
already cooked. You're not cooking it. They're just
No, you're
it's
cooking
there-
it.
Oh, you are cooking
It's
it.
butchered. It's they've already cut open the rib cage and stuff, and then they show you how to dress it for cooking,
Okay.
and then they throw it on, and it cooks all night. Well, good for now.
Yeah.
So and then you come back the next morning and try.
So it's like is it a 12-hour cook for that pig?
I don't pay attention.
Do you know what size pig it would?
That one was 250. I have a client who does.
That's big.
It was a big guy. I think that's about the max you can really cook.
Okay.
But I've got a client who she's Cuban, and they often do in the Chinese box thing, and they do like max 60, 70 pounds.
In Spanish, it's cajachina.
That's it. That'd be it.
For all you guys
What,
out there.
the
who-
box?
Yeah, it's the name of it.
It's a cajachina. You can buy it on Amazon.com.
For $300.
I mean, they're really
Prime
not
that shit.
complicated.
Shit could be yours. You could make one. Well, but that's again, that's one other thing we were talking about. And it's all these excuses to why we don't do a whole hog. But
Mostly because there's a whole lot of it that you're not going to want to eat.
right.
I mean,
there's a lot that goes to waste. I think to a whole hog.
Not if I have the party.
Not if you. Oh, okay.
I'm just saying, you're doing for competition, you have to compete in all 4 meats: chicken, pork ribs,
Beef.
brisket, and pork shoulder. And between that and like if you wanted to do a pork belly, have you made bacon before, Sean?
No, I have not.
That's easy. And that's a fun one.
I had some pork belly in New Orleans the last trip we were out there.
Yeah.
I wish, and it sucks because they give you just like that little square.
That's so you don't die.
I know.
So, how long was the school then?
It was 2.5 days, and you go out there and you stay at either the 3-room bed and breakfast, which I think is just some dude's house, and then or there's like a set of hotels down the street, and you just sort of go in the morning and they teach you how to make the injections, the rubs, how long you cook everything, and you go and they've got all these tables set up and you're broken up into teams and you physically cut the brisket and cut the, butcher everything so you know how to do it, and then they throw it on and they have people who kind of volunteer to be, there all day to learn how to cook so that they get to be on this guy's team because you can win a lot of money. And I guess, that was me. I made it too loud.
It's all right. Everybody does it.
And so, yeah, it's kind of an interesting thing.
How big's the class? How many people are in the class?
There are about 40 or 50. I
Oh,
was
wow.
really surprised.
Is it relatively
Mixed?
inexpensive to go?
No, it's $750 person, and it's $1,200 a couple, I think. And yeah, it's pricey, and you got to get there.
Right.
But I was expecting.
But this is your hobby, and this is what you guys are into. So
Well, this was our first time. I mean, frankly, my husband at the time had been living in New Orleans for like 4 or 5 months, and I was here in LA, and he called me and said, meet me in Atlanta. And I was like, well, whatever. It's either in Atlanta or back in New Orleans. And frankly, I'd kind of been all New Orleansed out for a little bit.
I know that feeling.
You need a little bit of, you need a little downtime to de-pickle. And then, so we went out there, and, the next thing I knew, he had signed us up for a competition and registered us with, there's a organization called Kansas City Barbecue Society, and you get
I like it.
kinda
I like
signed
that you just dove into it and like just didn't even just.
We don't think about a lot of things.
That's perfect.
Did you
Yeah.
dive into
we
it?
don't think about a lot of things.
We just don't.
Did you dive into it knowing you're going to compete, or did you just dive into it so you guys could just make awesome barbecue for each other or friends?
You like the competing portion.
Frankly, I don't really eat all that much meat. It's never my first choice.
Katie's competing.
First of all, I'm not very competitive. This was really
What?
I'm not very competitive, but I've gotten that way now that we've done this.
Do you guys put
barbecue
your
thing.
trophies on display on the table?
They are proudly displayed on the side of the kitchen. My husband works really hard. He works all the friggin' time, and if this was the hobby that he wanted to do, it seems kind of fun.
Yeah.
What's the worst that happens? There are people who do it full time, so we're certainly not in that realm, but it's a good time.
I gotta say this, and it's just kind of me personally. When you do something as a couple, and you go out and you do things, that's cool. But to, include both of you in the hobby, like my wife and I, like she sings and I play guitar, but like being in a band with her wasn't easy, and I would prefer that she had done it on her own. Do her own thing, because we end up having that husband wife bickering during the practice session, and it's no good for anybody.
It's also very creative. Like you're both not saying barbecue's not creative, but
It's not.
but like being a
no, but you
singer and
can
a
be critical,
musician.
and then
Yeah.
that's because it'll make me feel self conscious. He's like, oh fuck.
I mean, for us, the deal is you're up basically all night cooking. And at the 3 a.m. mark is where I kind of lose my crap. And I just, everything anybody is doing is really pissing me off. I'm usually a pretty laid back kind of person. Our first competition, I made us stay totally sober. So I was like,
I saw on your Twitter feed you guys
Yeah.
are drinking some booze while
because we did the first one, and you get so anxious and so nervous, and you realize when you're practicing at home trying this, you're drinking at home. So, I mean, it would be like, practicing playing basketball with different shoes or something.
It sounds like our first couple podcasts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like if you're not used to doing it that way, then it's foolish. And then you realize every other person in a really sweet RV who isn't sleeping in the back of their car is sitting there either hotboxing it or enjoying lovely wine and whatever. And you're sitting there in the back of your car, like eating cold pizza because, you don't have any place to heat it. And you're like,
Why are we doing this again?
yeah, we should probably get some wine.
But everybody starts off like that, though, I'd imagine.
Our first one, a buddy of ours, it was our very first competition was on our 5-year wedding anniversary, where we slept in the back of my car, which
With 4 people.
just us. Our first one was only us. We were the only people at our team, and my goal always is to not come in last.
That's my goal all the time.
I mean, charming.
You should get that tattooed.
So you guys, and you didn't, the first time you didn't even think about drinking, you're just tired and just.
You're going on like 2 hours of sleep, and because we don't do this full time, we're making the sauces after work during the week. We're packing up the car the morning of. We're trying to do all this stuff. And there's a steep learning curve. Like, you realize...
Why can't you get one of your landscapers to come out with you and load the shit for you guys?
I can load it all myself. I unload it all myself, because usually the way it works is to take off a Friday or take a half day. My husband has to work Sunday. So when we get home Saturday, you're 2 assed out. And then you...
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, so...
Mike's fitzing. He's telling me to put the hood on. I thought I did, but all right.
No,
Just don't kill the dogs.
he won't.
I'll try not to. Sorry, guys.
No,
Come here, Clem.
so in the last couple of competitions, you guys started placing?
So, yeah, about a year ago, we came in 10th in brisket out of like 40 teams. And then a competition or two ago, we came in 4th in ribs out of like 50 or 60 teams.
That's
which
good.
is huge. So right now we're, as I mentioned, 7th in the country in ribs, or in the state.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Which, as a Jewish person, I am proud.
Totally proud.
I'm very
But
proud.
I feel like even 49th place, you still have some good ribs. You know what I
Well,
mean?
it's the way you make competition ribs is so different from what you would eat normally.
Pork ribs?
Yeah. That, you rub them, then you put them on, you smoke them, you pull them off, and then you wrap them in. We do it in parquet, agave syrup, brown sugar, and a secret ingredient.
Uh-oh.
That she's
and
not
then-
going to reveal here on the podcast?
Is it a
It's-
rub or just like a
She's not going to tell you?
liquid?
It's pica peppa, which is a Jamaican, it's kind of like their version of A1 steak sauce.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. It's
Right.
got like tamarind in it.
Pick a pepper.
Pick a pep.
Right near the
I just
beach.
like the name.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
It's like a DJ name. DJ Pick a Pepper.
So you wrap them, you throw them
Cinnamon
back
to
on,
the stage.
and you do them that way, then you pull them back off.
Do you cut the membrane?
Well, you
Are
got to
a-
take
are
the
you a
membrane
no
off.
cut? See, here's the deal. I used to do it all the time, and I stopped, and it's better without it, or better without cutting it.
Not in well, we don't cut it. You remove it entirely.
Well, that's what I mean. Because no, I don't even. I leave it on completely, and it's
Sean, you
it
would
works.
lose.
You're
You would
insane
lose.
in the membrane.
Disqualified.
You would
good.
lose.
Mike,
Sean,
had
you
my
gotta
ribs?
do it.
You had my ribs 2 weeks ago. That was all membrane, baby.
I know he didn't bring
That was
any
kind of
to
like
work.
That was kind of like an Uncle T and Sean collabo right
Well, it
there.
always is.
You guys have to. Why doesn't Light Source put together one?
We don't want to see these guys fucking after we've already spent
Man.
20 hours a day with them.
I had a client show up on. Oh, okay. I had a client show up on Saturday to our competition, and generally, not that I look so glowing right now, but usually they're used to seeing me like dressed and
Professional.
put together, and I'm literally just falling out of the car wearing
Katie
whatever.
smoking and the ashes coming down. Backwards
know.
baseball cap.
Just a big gulp full of whiskey.
Well, yeah. I mean, that goes without
Swearing
saying.
like a sailor.
All right, so where do you come up with your rub recipes? Do you invent your own, or do you kind of combine, or
So we have some that we started with from the class, and then barbecue is really regional. And for the judges, because it's a very strict judging
Right.
situation, they judge differently in all the different regions. And so the recipes we picked up in Georgia, we had to tweak when we got back here. They didn't have enough spice to them.
Okay.
They were too sweet. They didn't.
You're good.
Don't worry, keep going.
Terrifying.
I know. He lords a lot.
Podcasting is terrifying.
I know. It's all good.
Terrifying. So yeah, we sort of took 6 in one, half dozen the other, and kind of mixed it all together. So
Found
we
a
could get
found a
something.
combination you like.
I mean, we're not winning everything, but we're not losing.
Are you a fan of injection?
No, just rejection.
Just
Well-
rejection.
When we were at the barbecue class, there was a very nice Mormon gentleman, Alan, who sat next to us, and he looked at me really straight faced, and he's like, "You know what they say? Injection to rejection." I
Boom.
was like, "Wow,
Boom.
that
He's
seems."
getting inside your head.
I
He's
was
playing
like,
that
that is
psychological
crazy.
shit with
He's
you.
psyching you out.
So we inject our pork shoulder and we inject our brisket.
No poultry.
No, they're too
Oh, you
little.
do it. So you inject your brisket. How big is the brisket they normally give you for competition?
So you supply your own meat generally at most of these.
Oh, interesting.
So it's really an
So that
arms
could be a
race.
big thing too. I mean, you could be getting the best meat in town.
We buy a $300 brisket.
Wow.
God damn.
Snake River Farms makes an American Wagyu brisket, and we get 17 to 20 pounds.
I got to try this $300 brisket.
No.
Right.
It's incredible,
Af-
but it's
After the competition, how
Different.
much is left over? Like, do you have a lot
so
left over?
you have to put. There are 6 judges per person or per team, and they give you marked boxes with your secret number, and you have to put at least 6 tastes of whatever you're making in that box.
Now, what keeps it honest? Because I feel anytime when you got the word, there's judges in this, all I hear is the fix is in, say, like,
oh, yeah.
How do you?
Well, she just said the numbers are random.
So you get a random number assigned to you, and then when you show up to turn it in, because the turn-in times are regulated, it's 12 o'clock for chicken, 12:30 for pork ribs, 1 o'clock for pork, 1:30 for brisket. When you bring it up, they have trays out. You put yours down. It then gets mixed again. So even if someone saw you put it down and knows your number, it gets changed again before it gets to a judging table.
So that's how they prevent any type of fraud. Or...
theoretically, but it's amazing. Everybody's cooking basically the same exact way. I mean, everybody's using similar rubs, similar spices. To me, it seems interesting that the same people can get the high score all the time. I mean, unless we're doing something drastically different, which maybe we are.
Well, what kind of wood are you guys normally using?
Well, we only cook with apple.
But then that's a common type of wood, though.
Well, and some people mix it with hickory or mesquite. Most people in California don't use mesquite. It's too smoky for people out here.
I tend to shy away from mesquite.
Yeah, but when Home Depot's, that's all they got. That's all
No,
they
you
got.
gotta go.
And if you want to add just some smoke flavor,
add a little
grab
bit.
it. But normally, I tend to stick to the fruit trees.
I like
cherry's good.
I do my brisket with pecan.
Yeah, pecan's good too. Pecan's good for pork.
Use that. Just, I'm not a fan of the hardwoods. You guys stop it. But then also, what else? I do inject poultry. So
Well, when you have a full bird,
Yeah.
when we
mostly
do,
turkey. So you got a big ass.
when we do Thanksgiving, we brine, and then we fry one full bird, and then we smoke turkey breasts.
I'm on the fence about brining. Oh, you know what I'm going to try?
I don't like it.
Because
Not that I don't
Do
like
a
it.
dry brine.
That's what
Yeah,
I was just
that's
about
true.
to say. I'm gonna test a dry brine.
I did it one
next.
time.
Which I'm gonna do. I like to smoke fish a lot.
Ugh.
I
I
make
don't eat fish.
I make like
Nothing out of the
I
ocean.
just saw the worst documentary.
Nothing out of the
Are
ocean.
you serious?
Oh.
Yeah. Dude, I was telling you, 80%
How do
of
you
the
still eat salmon? You told us the story.
No, okay, but cooking.
Ew.
So
I got a story for you.
So
Oh God! It's
I won't eat sushi, salmon sushi anymore, and that was my favorite, dude. It was my favorite. but
Yellowtail, man.
There's so much there's parasites in freshwater
yeah,
fish.
Fish are gross, man.
Very gross. And then
so
I didn't know this, but
delicious.
80%
delicious.
of all the tilapia that we have in the States comes from China. And they showed those tilapia farms, dude, and they're in
Their
sludge,
tilapia farms are
jumping
internment
over.
camps.
Oh my god! Yeah, that's
How
exactly
big-
what they are, dude.
Are they small? Yeah, they're pretty small, right?
They're yeah.
Well, they feed the ones we have in the States. They're farmed for one reason. They clean the sewage. They're
Well,
so they're
They're
bottom feeders.
Yeah,
yeah,
but
they're bottom feeders.
they're
but
so
they keep
good
them
in
in the sewer.
I like using it for fish tacos.
dude. You
But-
can't have another fish almost.
Dude, but how
Oh,
not only are we not manufacturing shit here, we're getting our fish from China, dude. It's like, come
taking
on.
our jobs.
They took our jobs.
I don't. With the farming of fish, I know it's not good, but I don't know. You go down to Louisiana, they seem to have plenty.
No, well, yeah. But here's my other thing too. We've overfished those oceans. Dude. When I was a kid, I used to go out fishing,
deep
dude.
sea fishing,
I would
yeah.
come back with the
5 or 6?
the gunny sack
Seriously?
full of fish.
All
dude.
the time.
We'd
When I was a
you'd
kid,
get
too,
close
yeah.
to catching your limit.
Sure
Really?
seems like you guys were the problem, huh?
And then coming back, doing it later on in life,
Right.
I've gone out 6 times on the ocean, and out of those 6 times, I've caught one bluefin, or it was one bluefin tuna that was 10 pounds.
What?
That was it. And for that whole
Is it just
boat
off
ride,
the coast of Southern California?
we went
Is that
down
what-
into Mexico. So
Have you ever been deep sea fishing?
Yes, one time in Alaska for
Oh,
halibut.
Jesus.
Yeah, so we go out.
Just for the halibut.
We go down to
So
Mexico. So you take off from San Diego at 10 o'clock at night, and the boat goes all night until about 5 a.m. till when you can first get light out, and then you drop it, drop the lures in the water. In this last trip, it was spent 24 hours on the water. As soon as I dropped my line in for the first cast of the day, I hit before I could see my lure disappear, and then I would not catch anything for the rest of the
Hold
day.
on. So you caught a fish on the or you just got a
as,
bite,
as soon as I dropped, as soon as it went into the water,
you had a fish,
I hooked up.
and then you didn't have one for another 20, 3
Dude, it
and a
was
half hours.
long.
That's like
It was long. We were
like
driving
premature
back, dude.
ejaculation. Like you're screwed for the rest of the session. You're just like, nah.
I was just like, and the boat was loud, and it was gross. It was the grossest boat I ever been on. I wish I could remember the name so I could tell everybody out there what the name of that fucking boat
Clearly,
was.
have not been on the slow boat to Catalina, which is just everybody yakking.
I think my dad one time, they usually plan a hunting trip for 2 weeks. One time on the first day, I got an elk. So it was like
Downhill from there.
Yeah, that's it. You get one tag, right?
Yeah, I'm just gonna hang out for like the next 13 days.
No, have
2
you had
weeks
elk,
seems like a long time.
Katie?
Maybe like a no thank you tasting of it. I'm not. I'm like
You're not a big meat eater?
not really into it.
Because I've been wanting to eat like
It's
a wild
good.
animal,
Elk's good.
and more so elk or a moose, but it's like you really can't get anywhere.
Go to the what is it called? The lodge. Not
The
Saddle-
moose lodge.
Oh,
They don't
Saddle
say-
Peak.
Do you want to have like a
Saddle Peak
steak,
Lodge.
or do you want to have like I could?
Yeah, I want a
You can
steak.
get
I want to
sausage.
try
Yeah,
it.
I could get some jerky.
I
Yeah,
think,
but you can get like anything
I
sausage.
think worse coochie. Where is that downtown? And there's one in Venice. I
Yeah.
don't think that's the German pronunciation.
I think worst Kirsch.
Wurst.
I was gonna say, what do you get downtown?
It's a
But they
good
have, like-
sausage spot.
They have sausages, but they have like rattlesnake and elk and stuff.
Yeah.
So
Well, Broad Brothers has an interesting.
yeah,
kangaroo-
sometimes
kangaroo.
they have stuff.
Yeah, they
Yeah,
got
They have
kangaroo.
kangaroo.
Yeah.
Do they eat kangaroos in Australia? Just like, okay.
Why
I don't
not?
know.
Why
I don't-
not? Right?
I don't know if they're like their
It's
dogs
weird because
or something.
I think it's weird because like for us, I mean, I grew up in Colorado, so like we see deer all the time. We see deer in our front yard. That's probably what a kangaroo is to them.
Yeah.
They just see 'em all
Well,
the
you
time.
eat deer, huh?
I've only had it in jerky. I've never even had deer.
What's the strangest thing you guys have eaten?
God, I have a really weird one.
Go ahead, because I can
Oh.
figure out mine.
A
I know mine.
booger?
Okay.
What's yours?
So this was I was in Alaska. I was 13. I didn't really know what was going on.
Wait, you didn't know what
This
was
is
going
gonna
on,
take a
like,
turn,
in
I
life?
can tell.
No, so we were fishing for salmon on the Kenai River, and we're out fishing. We got whatever. We usually got our limit. That was crazy. It was insane because they're all spawning. I mean, you're going to catch fish like insane. But we were at this guy's house who lives there every summer, I guess it would be. He would go. He actually row a boat on the river and be like a river guide. So the guys that we were with knew him, but they were frying up some fish. I didn't know what it was.
Tilapia.
It was
It's from those terrible Chinese farms.
the sperm sac of the salmon.
Oh, that's pretty gnarly. Well, how did it taste?
It just tasted like butter.
Fishy.
You had fish come.
Tastes like butter.
It tasted like butter. I'm
Butter.
a fan of butter. Now that screwed me up, dude.
Butter and bleach.
Oh.
No, just they fried it in butter. It just tastes like butter.
I've had guinea pig in Peru.
That's like that's like
It's a big.
part
They
of their
eat
diet.
it. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's.
I
common.
mean, they have it on like roadside stands on little sticks where they're like,
Oh,
you know,
Are you
out
serious?
there. Yeah,
how
Like
good?
guinea pig on a stick?
yeah. It's like their street food. Although
You like take it and have dipping sauce? Kind
now,
of deal?
It's like
now,
a corn dog?
Yeah.
as an American, I went to the fancy restaurant in Cusco and had it already pulled off the little bones in a taco. So
How is
did-
it?
fine.
Tastes like meat.
Like
Yeah.
rodent?
Yeah.
Tastes like rabbit?
I got to
maybe?
tell you the craziest thing I ate, and I can't find the name of it. And this was back in the day. My girlfriend in high school, her dad made me eat like these coagulated blood.
All
thing.
those blood sausages.
No, it's not blood. Blood sausages. That's a different.
I know what he's talking about. I've heard of that blood ball, whatever.
Yeah, they're
the
like
hell
blood
it is.
balls, and
What? Oh,
and you have them like in tacos. And before that part, like
it sounds horrible.
there's
Everything's shitty. You just make it a taco. Just put tilapia from China, taco.
tacos. But I remember like he made me eat it, like, and he stood over me like in a dominant fashion, like he's like, eat it. I was like, all right, sir. And so I ate it, and I did not like it. But
Is it like a Mexican traditional thing?
Yeah. What is
I wouldn't say traditional because I've never had it in my family.
Yeah.
But you know they ate it a lot, and I remember when he opened up the foil and it was just like little pockets of blood thing. So that would have to be the strangest
that
thing.
went-
Did it splatter? Like when you...
No, it was like cooked.
congealed?
Oh,
It's
okay.
cooked.
It's
so
cooked.
it's like a blood cake almost.
Some shit like that,
Okay.
but it was like
I watch a lot of bizarre foods.
I've
on
had
Monday
cow
afternoon.
face. Have you ever had the face?
Well, I've had like the
meat?
cheek.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
cheek.
Cheese.
How about balls?
No,
I've never had that. But you're from
I
Colorado.
never had it. My
Really?
dad likes it. He says it's salty.
Is it deer nuts?
No, it's bull balls.
They're
Oh.
What are
Rocky
they called?
Mountain
Yeah,
oysters.
Rocky Mountain oysters. Yeah.
That was like a staple on Fear Factor.
Yeah.
Hey,
they
we
say it's
got
not
these
bad.
bull balls right
Whatever
here.
happened to
It's
Fear
appetizer.
Factor?
So the funny thing, how it ended, Joe Rogan talks about this. He said it involved drinking like moose cum,
Oh God, that was the end of it.
and then they were like, "Yeah,
It's
we're,
Jump the Shark.
we're just gonna,
literally.
yeah, absolutely." And he was like, "Yeah, we're just gonna call this."
That's funny.
You're all losers.
That's terrible.
That was a cool show. I mean, okay, now what would you not do for what was it, $50,000?
Look, see, here's the thing:
Most things.
the Fear Factor
Really?
stuff.
Most things.
I don't think
I'm not like a wealthy woman, but most things.
the eating part of it to me wasn't a fear factor as much as it was like, could you even fucking stomach that?
Yeah.
But like the other stuff when you're like balance on a high rise building and do all that shit, I think that total get the fear out of you. That would have made it for a
See,
longer show and a better show.
The stuff I could have done was like cockroaches and like a bed of cockroaches or snakes,
Yeah.
or scorpions. That's
Did
kind
you
of stuff I
see?
couldn't
Is it
do.
Extreme Karaoke? Have you guys seen that?
No.
Oh man, Google that.
it's Mike on a Thursday night.
It's awesome.
There's one we got to Google too. It's like extreme something in Thailand.
Okay. So it's
What is
Extreme
it?
Karaoke was with who was the sidekick from Jackass?
Steve-O?
Steve-O was the host to begin with.
Well, I just pulled that out.
Yeah.
No, yeah,
Steve-O was
yeah.
the host, and they would put like shock collars on you, and you would have to do karaoke, and they'd shock you.
You talking about
randomly.
Wild Boys?
No,
No,
it was
it's
called
Jackass?
Extreme Karaoke. I think was the name
Yeah.
of it.
I heard him talking about him on Adam
Yeah,
Carolla.
it was pretty awesome. I mean, after the third episode, you're
So
like,
when you're
okay, I
singing
get it.
Total Eclipse of the Heart, so your
So
boys
what's
just like,
happening?
"Wah."
And you've got them all over your body, and then
Oh,
they
it's
do
just
one
not-
where you're on a swing, and they lower you into an ice cold pool of snakes, and the snakes like crawl up you, and you're supposed to keep on singing.
That's Jason Ellis does one when he does like Ellis Mania. Jason Ellis is a radio host on XM or Sirius XM, but he does a fight. So two dudes get in the ring and they
Okay.
both have shock collars on. So
Nice.
in the midst of their fight, somebody on the side
get
activates
'em?
the shock collar. Yeah.
Okay,
So
I like
I guess there's so much shit you could do with the shock collar. I just never even thought of it.
Might
I
as well
think
just
that's
get
probably
one.
for the best. I
Get one
think
for the house. I wish I gotta put one on my kids.
For the house.
Just stop screaming. I just push the button. Just zap them.
I wonder how.
Just zap.
I try to Google extreme karaoke and it's just a bunch of weird Thai stuff. So
Well, that's the one I saw when I looked it
Steve-O-
up.
So it's Steve-O Karaoke, I guess, would be the other Google search I'd go for.
The Thai stuff is. It wasn't more karaoke.
Killer
It's more
karaoke.
like-
That's it. Killer
Killer
Karaoke.
Karaoke.
That's it.
I was going to talk about this on Friday. We went out to this bar and they were doing karaoke at this bar, and two songs came up that these two drunk chicks were singing, and it got me thinking, dude, because like usually I don't pay attention to these songs
Yeah.
because I'm just not a country fan and I'm not a Taylor Swift fan.
Mm-hmm.
But when you got karaoke going on and the words are coming up on the screen, you could all see it. There was this Carrie Underwood song about some dude cheating on her.
And she keys his car.
Keys his car, rips the seats.
She's a crazy ass bitch. Yeah, no.
I was like, dude, if a guy were to write a song like that, now, I'm not talking any of the hip hop shit because those guys are in a different world. I'm saying in a popular public radio station, if a dude was gonna say, "So I bashed that bitch's car,"
So, that shit would not fly.
it wouldn't
No,
fly.
It wouldn't be cool.
And all of a sudden, he's pressed for assault.
Yeah, exactly.
Destruction
But
of
that
private
song's
property.
so
And that's how the song ends.
Yeah.
End
It's
of
a
discussion.
super popular song then too.
It's a
huh?
super popular song. It's like everybody loves it. They like it. And then there's the Taylor Swift song where I don't know much about Taylor Swift, but what I do know is that bitch has been through a lot of dudes.
Yeah.
And then she wrote a song
About every dude.
About
Why
it-
would you date her?
Oh
I
no,
don't
the
understand.
one that I heard was her saying that this shit's gonna end bad, but let's hook up anyways. It was just like
Okay,
I know which one
wait,
you're
wait,
talking
wait.
about.
Haven't
Holy
you had that thought
fuck.
though when you were like young and an idiot, where you're
Well,
like,
she's like
well, she's a little cray.
27 now?
No, she's like
she's like 80,
no, she's like 23, 24.
No, I think
Is
she's
she?
older than that.
but still,
No.
but what
Googs.
if I wrote a song and I'm gonna say I'm just gonna end this fucking horribly? Like it just wouldn't resonate with anybody.
Sounds creepy.
Your bad decision goggles.
Yeah.
I have a guilty pleasure. I like that "Shake It Off" song. God damn it, I just can't get
It's
over
You've
it.
been meaning to
Horrible.
get that off your chest for a
Yeah,
while.
it's-
I have.
Sure seems like he's been holding that back.
When you brought up
wanna
Taylor
hug?
Swift, that's all. I just wanted to listen to it.
Which is that song? Don't play it because if we're gonna get sued for anybody, we're gonna get sued for Taylor
Yeah,
Swift.
don't play
Oh, I know.
anything.
She's 25.
Okay,
by the way.
okay.
Oh, I thought you were gonna play that song.
No, I won't, because
My
it's
cat's
all over the
scared real
place.
quick.
She'll find you.
No,
But
I don't want to get sued for
So
Taylor Swift.
the biggest fight my husband and I ever got in before we were married, ever, was we were real drunk at a party, and
He made out with another chick.
he put on By the Dashboard Light by Meatloaf, and I did not know the words because it is a 9-minute song.
Well,
Oh,
you were supposed to be his
karaoke
karaoke partner.
Yep,
Oh,
I was
gosh.
singing the other side, and I didn't know it because I was not, 45-year-old man.
Were you like, what
And
the fuck were you thinking picking that song?
I did not know it, and he got irate, and then I was drunk and
he
irate,
got mad.
and then we both got irate, and then it didn't.
Did
end
you literally
well.
like drop the mic?
Yeah, I mean, before that was a thing. Yeah, and we like went out onto the front porch and we're screaming at each other.
How old are you
about-
guys?
Oh, we must have been like 22.
Yes.
That's
Like-
funny.
Biggest fight
The
we've ever
stupid
gotten
shit
in.
you
In
get
front of
into
people,
fights
too.
Oh
over.
yeah,
I love it.
hardcore, like hardcore.
The nothing fights.
Yeah,
I've never gotten into one of those like at a restaurant, like what, take that, or whatever the argument is. I've never. Oh, I scared you. Sorry, dog.
she'll live.
But I've never gotten into one of those public fights. I
Oh,
kind of
yeah.
want to, but then I'm kind of weird about that.
Oh, so get this. I watched this video. You guys might have saw it, where these two people, like it was a guy and a girl. First, the guy was hitting this girl and yelling at her, and it was all staged. And people stopped him. They grab him. They would yell at him, and then they had the girl hitting the guy. Not one person stopped it. They were like videoing and like laughing at the guy, and it was about like domestic violence. And they're right.
It goes both ways.
But
does.
aren't you glad that there were no cell phone cameras when we were growing up?
Oh,
And
yes.
like, granted, like no one's totally immune from doing stupid stuff. But aren't you glad that
Yeah.
none of that stuff was documented that way?
I'm glad I didn't have a cell phone. I had a pager.
He would have. You would in
you know
prison.
what? I had
think
a
if Sean
pager.
had a cell phone in high school.
With cameras in high school? Yeah, dude, it'd be
A
game
mess,
over.
right?
And we'd be doing the podcast from cell block A and lane after. Hey, guys.
I think it would just be like some cereal boxes taped to your head.
Probably, yeah, probably.
Not much of a podcast.
I don't know. I wish. Well, I'm glad the way our generation grew up,
Well,
because I see this generation, dude, and it's fucking like
absolutely.
you're just they're so. And I know I'm bad. I got my face in my phone a lot, but they've been this way since like
But when you're
15.
Well, do you have kids?
I have just no niece and nephews. So
Okay. And you guys all have kids.
Right.
Yeah.
How old are you going to, like, do they have cell phones yet? How old can they be?
Well,
when they
here's
get
the
a
weird
cell
thing.
phone?
So my daughter's a year and 7 months.
She got a
She's
cell
got
phone?
that thing glued to her
She
face.
she knows the iPad. She knows where all the apps that she wants
That's
to go.
And
in.
she can
Crazy.
swipe.
She swipes.
Hold on,
and
she's
I even
Yeah.
a year and a half, and she knows how to just do all that.
My
Yeah.
girlfriend has a 1.5-year-old, and I watched her just swipe,
and I even
swipe.
I moved the apps around, thinking
Okay.
that she was just doing it out of
but
repetition.
she sees them.
She knows what apps she
That's
wants.
insane.
Crazy.
Wow.
The only thing
That's
she
pretty
can't, the only thing she can't do is do like the little stuff, like she can't hit the stop. But she knows what she wants to do, but she can't do that.
Huh.
But I mean, for as far as the apps go and what she wants to do, it's insane what she's doing. I'm like,
That is insane.
Yeah, I gotta limit it when we go out to like a restaurant or something. They always want to play on the phone, and I'm like, all right, I'll limit their time, but I'm like, at least color, do
Yeah.
something.
but here's the
else.
thing: my daughter's a year and a half, and she knows all her letters. She could recognize all the letters out of order and out of sequence, and she knows colors and numbers. So like, I can't say
Yeah.
no to what's probably potentially moving her along this fast. I was like 16 before I got the alphabet done.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like,
Still waiting for you to do
yeah,
it.
right.
Out of
There's
sequence.
fucking LMNOP.
Out of
still-
sequence, it'd be-
it's still one word, one letter to me.
Screwed.
What's that?
Said if you saw them out of sequence, you'd be screwed.
Yeah.
dude.
Kids also too, like for learning stuff. I noticed there's all these programs like cartoons and all that. All we had was like Sesame Street. That was it.
And Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood.
That's
Yeah.
true.
Oh, get this. So
There's like
Selena.
a million for kids.
Yeah, Selena, who we had her on her podcast before, our coworker, she said her nieces that live, I think, up in San Francisco, they do code time, or they're coding. They're learning coding programs. They're like 8 years old.
So San
They're
Francisco.
Chinese.
That is
Right?
so San
I know, but
Francisco.
still, that's
like-
insane. Like,
that
they
is
know
so San
more coding
Francisco.
than I do.
She's been coding since she was 8 years old.
Seriously, I think that's kind of cool.
You know what's
though.
gonna suck, dude? You get to like blasting through all this coding, and then between now and then, there's gonna be
There are
like
going to be some
It's a
people
whole
in
new-
India.
Google's gonna be like, yeah,
Gonna
just
be
press
like-
this button.
It's going to be like some people in India who are going to be able to do it cheaper.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
the problem.
That's terrible.
Oh, wait.
No,
But that's
kill
the
it.
truth
Are you guys,
now, though.
No, are you guys...
Kill it.
We're good.
Okay.
No, but that's a major issue.
I mean, I mean, it takes so much now to live like up in San Francisco. The cost of living is insane.
Mm-hmm.
You probably have to start looking for a job when you're 8.
Right. Well, they have like 100-year mortgages.
I don't know how
out
they.
there.
I mean,
It's crazy.
What?
Yeah, they have 100. They have like
They're
90-year
like
mortgages.
that's how they do it in London. You don't own the property, You lease it for like 99 years or
Are
something.
you serious? Well, I didn't know that. That's
Wow.
interesting.
That's because everything's so expensive. Nobody, you can't
The
afford it.
gentrify in San Francisco is insane to me, but it's nowhere near what New York is. Like that.
My sister and brother-in-law live in New
Like
York,
this-
and it's just the cost of living is obscene. Like to do
This room that
anything,
we're in right now would be
a studio apartment.
$2,300.
Mm-hmm. It's crazy, and they live in Brooklyn, and it's even crazy.
I
mean-
just I guess they're trying to force all the poor people just to move inward to the country. Like,
I don't know.
fuck away. Because it's getting like that down here. The housing market here is
No,
insane.
it's getting crazy.
Yeah.
Downtown's getting super expensive now and everything.
I grew up out here in LA. You could not drive downtown when I was growing up. Now, we know all these people who live down there, want to meet for dinner down there, walk around at night. I can't even imagine.
That's a but see.
It's, I mean, it is nicer.
It's
now.
nice.
Yeah, they changed it a
Well,
lot.
how about this? This is one Echo Park. When I was living here,
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
don't
when I
go
was a
to
kid,
Echo Park.
you never went to Echo Park. man.
Highland Park. Now they're gentrifying Highland Park. It's
Yeah,
like
all that.
Oh, yeah.
Long Beach.
Long Beach too.
Yeah.
Yeah, my friends just moved to Long Beach. But because the rent is still super cheap there. Oh, that was Amir who was on our podcast
Oh.
before. He moved to Long Beach. It has a 3-bedroom like section, like it's upstairs in a Victorian home for $1,300.
It's pretty down there, and you can take public transit. You can take the Blue Line down there.
Oh God, that's.
And
what
I've yet
we're missing out here.
to do the Queen Mary.
Yeah, I never did it.
So we had a barbecue competition at the Queen Mary last year, and we're competing again.
Weren't you there recently?
Not that I know of.
I thought you said you were heading down there. Maybe it was.
Well, we've got a competition coming up in Long Beach, and it's right on the park adjacent to the Queen Mary.
Uh-huh.
So, part of the deal, because we don't have an RV or anywhere to hang out during Friday, you have to get your meat checked in, and then
you guys don't know anybody that's got an RV?
people are really weird about it. They don't want you in their space because they're doing whatever secrety thing they're doing.
Oh,
And so they don't want you to
And they're
hang out.
expensive.
Yeah, and they don't want me screwing up their space. I don't want them in the back of my Jeep. But we go and hang out at the bar at the
Why don't you do one of those rent an RV for the weekend?
Because then I'm going to have to bring it back. And as I told you, I'm very lazy and quite flaky.
This is where you need to
You should
look into
This is
your
where it comes in right here.
your
I mean, the flakiness, I think,
your
comes in with the
delegation skills got to
laziness.
come in right here.
I do that all day in construction.
Fucking keep going.
I can't. I'm
Oh.
too tired by the end
You're
of it.
making a lot of excuses right now.
Usually. No, I think my flakiness and my laziness kind of intertwine.
So that brings us to your landscaping portion of you.
Okay.
What gravitated you to do that particular thing?
Oh, okay. I don't think this is going to make great podcast fodder, but I was in graduate school for public art. My undergraduate degree is in geology with a minor in ceramic sculpture.
It must be fun being white, huh?
That's what it's like, man.
Like, I didn't even know that shit.
You're right.
Fucking
Geology.
Exists,
Well, he got a taste of it when we got pulled over by a cop, and I was like,
dude. Fuck out of here.
Were you like, don't worry about it, I got it.
no, he was sweating. I was like, well,
Was
he's gonna
not
see
sweating.
Shut
me.
up. He told the
We
story.
got a white people handshake. It's cool.
Yeah.
And
It was a
just
Mexican
went.
cop.
no, he looked at me and was like, "Oh shit, you got a white guy." Never mind, sorry. And left.
He couldn't tell by the Cadillac?
No, well,
No, it was in my
that's
car.
Oh,
right.
it was in your car. Okay.
Coincidentally,
well, yeah.
that was the first time I had ever been pulled over in California.
Really?
Ever. 33 years old.
Knock on wood.
First time got pulled over in California.
You were doing illegal shit. Anyway, sorry.
So I went to school. My degree is in geology. I went right into the public arts master's program at USC and started doing public art administration and realized that I did not like paperwork. And I did not want to be an administrator. I liked doing all the hands-on stuff and the creative stuff. So USC was nice enough to figure out how I could use my master's electives from one program into my other program, and I was able to do both kind of simultaneously. So I went into the Master of Landscape Architecture at the same time, and I did both. So I had to do 2 thesis projects.
Hey,
The size,
the size,
I guess.
the size.
So, and then we were talking before the podcast. So, this whole landscaping thing entails like pools and.
I design, basically, as I was explaining to you, our office is unique in that we are a design build firm. So we are an architecture firm, a landscape firm, and we are a construction company. So you come in and
Full service.
we can do everything.
That's cool.
And so when the economy was banging, I was building pools left and right and fire pits and lighting your pool on fire.
I love fire pits. I like those glass fire pits.
What do you mean lighting your full on fire? You could just turn in your pool into a full on.
So
just
apparently,
pit of fire.
like disclaimer, I've never done this, but in the 70s, my dad's been an architect here for like 45 years, and he has a buddy who was a landscape designer for years. And in the 70s, you would run a gas line into your pool shell, and you would, when you're having like big whatever kind of parties you're having up
With
in the
cocaine?
hills. I digress. I'm not sure. You would turn on the gas and you could light the surface of the pool on fire.
So it's just a big fire pit.
Yeah.
I feel like people in the 70s and 80s got away with way more cool shit.
lot
I
of
think
shit.
so. I think
Drugs
so.
were way. Just people were like, everybody did drugs.
I
And
also think
a lot of
out here,
unprotected sex, dude. And they all got it.
That's what it is. Yeah.
I also think out here you feel so far away from the government because California is just as far away basically as you can get that who cares about the rules? We'll figure it out on
Right.
our own. That's
I would
fine.
just be. I mean, to think about it.
Can you imagine being high and be like, dude,
because if
your
you
whole pool's on fire.
because if you fell into it, you'd be safe. I
You
guess.
just go into the water, I guess.
Yeah.
You got to come up.
Yeah, it'd be like they'd be like, well, Paul just fell into the pool. We should probably turn the fire off. So
Do you know
he can
that
get back up?
even if you were getting chased by a swarm of bees, jumping into a pool will not save you?
What,
That
they-
those fuckers will wait.
What?
till
They'll
you,
just
they'll wait till you
hang
come
out?
up to surface.
So
That's what they
is-
do.
How am I going to survive the bee?
You better
You're
jump
probably
in
not
with
going
the
to survive
straw.
Damn
a
it.
bee attack.
We need a straw.
They'll go in. They'll go in the straw.
A little tiny one.
Wait,
It's like a little
a coffee straw.
A coffee straw.
They hang out.
breathe.
Well, that's probably why they put the gas pipe.
Yeah, and then you can
For
kill the
bee
bees.
attacks.
Bee
There you
attacks.
go.
Just
Done.
You fucking jump in and click it, dude. And then the fire.
Oh, now
comes.
it's remote control
Yeah.
to get the fire started.
Yep.
See, if we put
I
this
could do
in
that.
case bee attacks, so we jump in the
That's our
hole.
excuse to install it.
The last time I designed something like that, I had a client in Las Vegas that I went out there and, I mean, it was just nuts. And so I designed, like anything I could dream up, I decided I would just draw it and see what happened. And I don't know if they ever built any of it, but there was some cool stuff to light on fire.
What's the coolest thing you've designed? Like, or what is the craziest idea a client wanted you to design?
So there's a client up in Encino where he is a modern art collector, really cool guy. And I drew this picture of these giant metal balls on his front lawn, just giant.
Bringing it back to balls in the podcast, ladies and
And-
gentlemen.
And he was like, "Those are great. We should do that."
Are
And
you
then
serious?
and it took me a while to figure out how we actually do that. That's sort of the other problem with dreaming crazy is, especially because
You're
I
gonna
do
have
the
to do
actual
it.
implementation. I like got to figure out how we do that. And so I had some prototypes made, and one of them rolled down the hill, and some poor person had to go get my giant ball and bring it back. But we managed to get them, and so he has like 5
Be
or
like,
6 of
"What
these
the
giant balls on his
How
front
big are
lawn.
these balls?
The biggest one I think is 4 feet in diameter.
Hold on. Is it just a ball?
They're giant balls. They're metal balls.
Okay.
Like Chinese.
That's it. They look like that. Like,
Oh, okay. Yeah, I know what you're talking
but
about.
like
You were
giant
thinking like the back of
balls.
a truck balls?
I was thinking, yeah, like
like
a ball
anatomically
sack.
correct. No, they're just like giant. Okay, let's call them spheres.
There we go.
Sphere- there we go.
spheres.
All right.
We figured out the words.
Spheres. I've done a crazy floating walkway in someone's front yard where I kind of drew it, thinking,
What do you mean floating walkway? So you couldn't see
I
where
built
they.
these 2 pools and built a walkway that floats on top of it in their front yard.
How's it? So it's just anchored in some
Like
way?
Goonies style? Or
It's
you got to step on it,
concrete.
right?
Yeah, it's concrete, so we had to build like fake piers. I do cool koi fish ponds a lot with,
Oh.
you know.
We went to this dude's
waterfalls and
house who had
stuff.
koi inside the house.
Yeah, that's when you know you made it.
Yeah,
How much money you got? You got koi in the fucking house.
It was like
They're
where his
trash fish.
staircase is.
They're trash fish.
they're trash fish.
They're
They eat
expensive,
anything.
though, right?
They're expensive.
And
You
when
can't
they
even
get
get
really
one.
big.
They're
You,
pretty.
you
Yeah,
can't get
they're
one
big.
for like less than $600. I don't think. Like a real koi.
Well,
Not
the
that-
big ones. My dad has a koi pond that I built for him, and there was an incident a couple of months ago, and all of his very nice koi fish all died. Like
No.
15 of them, and this was in the heat spell.
This is
Remember,
what happened. It
was
got too hot.
Well, it evaporated. It coincided with the Westwood water main break. They
Oh.
increased all the chemicals in the water, and it was just a really hot week. And so I guess you guys didn't realize, but my dad brought, 15 giant dead fish and put them in the dumpster outside.
Wait, he
For,
didn't
like-
bury him and do a little.
They're
server?
huge. I mean, they're huge. What are you going to do with them?
So what did he do? Did he?
He
like,
put them in a trash bag.
No,
and
I
left
know,
them out
but
here.
those fish ain't cheap.
Well, what are you going to do with them? Revive them?
Get a
No.
refund?
I'm saying, but do you,
They still under
do you go
warranty?
after like the state or the city?
Nah, he just, I mean, we've had them since they were little, so he...
And there's no emotional like attachment to
I
these
think
fish.
there was one
I
in
guess you don't have.
particular,
That's why it's called a fish.
because you don't hug them.
They don't have
Feel
any
bad.
feelings.
Can't pet them.
Yeah, they're like fuck you, fish.
They don't fetch stuff for
They're just
you.
like they're
No.
they're giant goldfish.
I mean, they're
They
kind of
are.
like those.
They are.
Yeah, because like, and they must live a really long time.
They
then.
live a long time.
How long do they live?
I always feel bad for them though.
don't
For some
know.
reason.
They
Just looking
eat,
at 'em.
but they eat like white bread and stuff. They eat
Really?
like trash.
That's why
They give a fuck.
Well, how do they
Well,
live?
because
that
they're not.
long?
You're not going to get eaten. You can eat whatever you want when you're not going to
Yeah.
get eaten.
What do they
Is that
taste?
your strategy?
Well, no, it's the same thing with like bears. I see. I'm not doing this podcast anymore.
I'm getting the hang of podcasting.
That's
I'm
pretty
liking
good.
it up here, right?
I like that. That was
Okay.
that was good. I'd
Okay,
have to give you.
much appreciated.
What were you saying about bears there, guy?
I was gonna say,
Hey,
like
boo-boo.
bears that get into trash versus bears that eat berries, or bears that eat fish.
Oh
They're
yeah,
not-
I heard they taste
They
different.
taste different,
Right.
And so,
Tastes like trash.
yeah. So bears that eat berries are delicious, and bears that eat fish taste
I thought
fishy.
you weren't allowed to eat bears.
You could eat bears.
Yeah.
You don't want to eat bears because bears like have like a
Trichinosis.
90%,
They got-
trichinosis rate.
Yeah, they
What's
got
that
crap
mean?
in-
What's
that's it's the
Dude, it's
disease
parasites
you get
in the
pork.
muscle.
Like you
Yeah,
can get
you
that
don't
from
want that.
pork that's undercooked.
My dad wanted to go,
There's-
or he
there's-
had the license to do it.
Rare cases of pork though they
He'd
have.
get the meat. My uncle's a butcher. Maybe I don't know, but then he also wanted if he got it, he would have done a full like taxidermy of it.
With a bear?
Black bear, yeah.
Yeah, so with the bear, you got to cook it so hot. It's got to be it has to make it to 165. And
You
I
know a
don't,
lot about bear cooking.
no, I just kind of know a little bit. I hate bears.
Oh,
No, I don't hate bears. That's
well,
wrong.
that's a strong opinion about
No,
bears.
I don't hate bears. I love
Okay.
bears.
What?
I love bears.
Do you have a bad bear encounter?
Yeah, what,
No,
what
no, no, no.
happened?
I don't know why I said that.
You just,
Let's just move on.
man. Oh man, I want to dig
This is-
further into the bear conspiracy.
I'm a little concerned.
I wonder
No.
if they're gamey though. Are they gamey?
I don't
would
have never
think
had
so.
bear.
No.
I would think so. They eat like,
It depends on what they eat.
that's true. Well, everybody says, don't quote me on this, but everybody says that humans would taste like pigs
Yeah,
because they
or
eat
makeup.
what. Yeah,
Yeah,
This is
I hope I
similar.
Pretty
never
similar.
get into that situation.
that's like my worst nightmare of all time.
My uncle.
What,
has-
being eaten
Yeah,
No, bean eating?
yeah.
alive?
Yeah.
Mine
Oh.
would be have to eat somebody else.
Haven't you seen Alive?
Imagine
I did see a lot.
Oh, it's terrifying.
You get some. It's like having some pork
Would
belly.
you? Would you?
No, dude.
I guess-
I feel you got to be completely different after you take that first bite.
Oh no!
You're
Yeah.
Like you get
person.
their powers? You ever
No,
seen
They
you
say,
rabbits?
no, they say that actually in Native American.
Yeah.
they
You
say
take on their.
or you either take. It's
No, not
necessarily
native.
the
That
power.
was it was in Africa, dude. They eat the pygmies.
Well, no, it's a Native American story where they if they eat human flesh, it's not like they take on their power. It's they take on a part of their soul and they can't rest, so they're haunted the rest of their life.
Yeah.
It's terrible.
Don't eat people. They say that's why Samoans are so big.
They ate people.
Yeah, they said there were there was a lot of cannibalism going on early on, and it made them so much bigger, and that's why they're so big out there. What's the matter?
You all
A
right? buddy?
doggy farted. I think.
No, that could be in her sleep. She's snoring. The brown one snores.
My dog, I'm going to record my dog. My dog, he's he's sort of a lab, and I don't know what he is, but he's real tiny, and he snores like.
No, she snores like a 300-pound man.
That's what I was saying. My dog snores like. I was going to say Suge Knight, but I'll stay away from him right now. I was going to
Yeah,
say
he gonna run your ass
Rough
over.
man.
like,
Nah.
like Debo or something.
Okay.
He just snores like
Okay.
Debo.
That's funny.
I'm going to record it. Shannon woke up, thought it was me. She's like, "What the? Oh, that's the dog."
I often push my husband and realize that it's the 20-pound dog.
See, my dog just dreams like crazy, so he'll whine.
Do they run? Or
No, he'll just like kind of like and like shake and stuff.
He's listening to funny jokes.
And I just like I always like
He's like, that
wake him up.
shit's good. You're like,
laughing.
Jack,
I wonder what they
Jack,
dream about.
You're dreaming.
Would it like
No, I think they just dream about
they dream about
like
Dog
kibble,
literally
stuff.
like
Dog stuff.
chasing stuff, chasing rabbits or
delicious
something.
tennis balls?
But what if
Yeah.
he ain't never seen a rabbit?
So the brown one watches TV. She really likes television. She's very partial to the X-Files. That's one of her faves.
They're coming back. It's coming back.
I
Yep.
mean, very excited.
How does David Duchovny come back after Californication?
I don't know.
So I only watch a few episodes of that, but I agree. I'm not sure how that's going to work. Although
I love that show.
we've been watching the Netflix X-Files, and we're on like season 6, I want to say.
Oh,
And but we had to take a break. We had to watch the movie in order. My husband's very much about following the rules about stuff, and they make a lot of allusions to him being into porn and stuff all through the X-Files.
Really?
Uh-huh. Now
See-
that you watch it again,
Yeah,
you're like,
didn't he go to
oh, rehab.
Went to rehab
For being a
or-
sex
Sex addict, which they make a lot of, innuendo and, he's constantly, whenever they cut to him being in the office, he's watching porn.
Is that Vince Gilligan?
He was one of the writers.
He was one of the
I don't
Yeah,
think he
right?
He
created
didn't
it.
run it. Yeah.
No.
But that's funny because in Californication, he's a porn addict, right? Or he's a sex addict.
No,
Sex addict, yeah.
He just plays himself.
Yeah.
But, so here's what's funny. I recently dropped my DirecTV,
Okay.
and so I have been just devouring Netflix like just over and over. And so you watch all the like 100 documentaries.
Well, we watched all of Twin Peaks because we were a little too young to watch Twin Peaks back in the day.
Yeah.
And so we binged that, and now I'm looking forward to it.
I did all of House of Cards, the new season,
Oh, I'm missing those. I
in
haven't
like
watched those.
2 days.
Like
That's how bad it's been.
the whole series or just the season? New season. Season
Just the
three.
new, well, I was already caught up, but just the new season I did in 2
We're
days.
2 seasons behind. But it's so long.
It's
1 hour is a
so
long time
good.
to sit there.
It's good. I've been watching it. I'm in like first like maybe 4 or 5 in the second season. I dig
So
it.
I was saying, you watch so much, you watch all these documentaries, and it's like the whole planet's falling apart. It's like there's not one single
Is this
good.
the problem you have with bears? Did you see some
No,
bear
I'm cool with
documentary?
bears. I'm totally cool
Okay.
with
There's
bears.
some good.
I don't know why I said I hate bears. It was just a random thing.
These homies.
You're just watching the depressing ones. You need to watch like nice ones.
What's a nice documentary?
What are those?
What's his name? Dreams of Sushi is like a happy.
That was a
one.
good one.
Jiro Dreams of
That was a good-
Sushi.
Yeah, but-
There's another one called.
Yeah, but the same thing with Jiro Dreams of Sushi. Do you see how many tuna they have ripped out of the ocean that they have in those warehouses?
Maybe you should just stop watching documentaries.
I have to stop watching documentaries. So I did. And
So I did.
Boom. Story
because,
done.
dude, I was like, I found myself just talking to everybody like, do you know, like, just China's going to own everything? Like, doing it. And then I was like, did you know that, like,
super
you know,
opinionated on every subject.
the American farm workers, if they would just raise it 1 cent, they would all have like a wage to live by. And it was just, I was doing that. And I was like, ew. Like, I don't like who I'm becoming.
You're
Did you
that
watch
guy?
A Man on Wire?
No, I didn't watch that one.
That
Oh,
one's-
that's a guy with who the
He walks. He tight ropes across the twin.
Oh,
what
I
are they
did see
called?
that.
What are they called? What's the family?
I don't remember.
I did see that one.
The flying
Melinda's?
something.
So
Is that it?
so I had to change it up the other day, and I had to watch a movie. And I finally watched Lucky Number 11.
It's a great movie.
It was cool, but there was did you guys all see it?
I
didn't
don't
like
see
it.
movies.
Thanks for coming by.
I'm
Kate.
sorry.
You don't see movies. You don't.
I don't
like
watch
meat?
movies.
I can't sit still that long.
Oh, you're one of those.
I can't.
Why don't you just smoke some weed and watch a movie?
I get real weird.
You get
Get
paranoid.
real
huh?
weird.
I get
You
real weird.
Pop
Look through
through
the
the curtain, the blinds. She's like, "Hey,
I don't do it often,
did you
but
hear
I get
that?
real
I know.
weird.
they're coming.
Or
Hey, they're coming."
I think
It's
I'm
not
gonna die.
pleasant. Yeah,
My
I'm one of
heart-
those.
I wonder if
I'm one of those. It's not fun. It's not fun for me.
one of those giant balls will riding down the hill.
it just went by.
We gotta go
Did
check.
you see it?
We gotta go check.
No.
And my neighbors are really into it, and we live in a very good, like, marijuana neighborhood. It's like up in the hills and stuff, and very chill.
yeah.
But not for me.
Look, you can get it for free because all your neighbors got it.
Just
They're
one
growing
neighbor.
it. You can just pick it off the back of.
I mean, I would think most
Mind
of
if
my
I get
neighbors
some
are
of those
growing
tangerines?
it.
Some of that weed back there.
I would trade them for the blueberries I'm growing, but not for me, not my scene. Can't do it.
And so, real quick, in this movie, Lucky Number 11, there was a scene towards the end where what's his nuts? Bruce Willis is giving the kid.
Did you say what's his nuts?
I know, I had to. Bruce Willis was giving the kid the watch at the end
That he had in his ass for 7
for
years.
7 years. But it was this. If you notice, that watch had the same stretchy band as he did on Pulp Fiction.
Really?
Ooh.
Now, I
was
have
like-
seen Pulp Fiction because
Dude,
I'm not a
it-
terrorist.
It took us this long.
Because you're not communist.
Yeah.
It took us this long to get to that stretchy man.
Yeah, I mean, but that I felt like that was. You see, when you're watching all these documentaries, you're looking for
Dude,
something
I gotta get
meaningful in these.
Man,
You need to stop watching the
get a
documentaries. I think
book.
it's not good for you.
You should
No,
go.
I'm done. I'm done watching.
Okay.
You should go read Frolic
did.
with some bears.
You guys got. I got to throw
I do read pretty much a lot.
I got a suggestion.
What?
You got to read The Martian by Andy Weir. It's by far the best book that I have ever come across in my entire
Now,
life.
I am terrified that I'm going to be abducted by space aliens.
No,
so
no,
if it's
the-
going to do that, I'm going to not read
No,
it.
the premise is there's a guy that gets left on Mars,
Okay.
and they got to save him. But it's fiction, but it reads like nonfiction, and
One
it's
dude.
so good.
One dude.
It's amazing.
I'd let him go.
Just read it.
Would you really?
Right? That was a big
I mean,
point
You're
in it.
nasty. You're like,
I mean, has he cured like a really good disease?
They
Like, not a good one. Like,
cover all that.
They cure
cover,
like AIDS, then maybe we'll go back and get him.
but they cover like why would they spend all this money to save one dude? But you got to
Well-
read the book. Just read it. It's from page 1. You're just hooked into it.
Are we done?
I
How
think
does
so.
What is that?
What's
I
that?
don't know. It changed on us. I didn't touch it. I didn't do it. It did it on its
Are we
own.
doing Palmdale news?
Yeah.
All right, we're doing
I don't
Palmdale.
have any prepped. I don't have anything prepped.
No, don't worry about it because they can't use the music anyways.
No, you kill my. It makes me feel special.
I know. I'm sorry. I ended up having to take it out.
Well, I was going to talk about the air show over the weekend.
Yeah, I've been meaning to go to the air show. They do the air show up in the AV this week.
I watched the KTLA morning news, and Gail was there previewing it.
Gail was
Oh,
there.
Gail.
She
Auntie
was
Gail.
there. She's been on that show for
100,000 years. Yes,
I'm so-
I've been watching that show since I was 13. She's been there.
Yeah.
I'm so glad like it's up in the AV because we used to have to go to El Toro when I was a kid.
Yeah.
But now to get into the air show, the streets suck, dude. And you're backed up into traffic.
You know, when I went last year, it was kind of shitty. This time, drove right in.
Oh, you just popped
Not a
right in?
problem. Not a problem.
So why do you think that the military does the air shows? I'm just curious.
I
What do
don't.
you mean?
Are they in charge of it?
No, but they're involved in it. Like they do the Blue Angels stuff.
Well, obviously those guys got to come through.
Well,
Do you
yeah,
think it's to get young kids to want to be?
probably? I'm sure it's a little bit of advertisement.
Okay.
Maybe.
It's got to be because like, look, here's where your tax dollars are going.
Yeah.
And we're gonna do some flips
A
in
little
front
bit
of you.
of we're badass pilots,
Okay.
and we're in the.
Those,
You know.
You know,
flight
and I
suits.
never thought. I never took 1 second to think why do they do it. I was just like, we just need
Dude,
this.
and they toured like this year was the was it Thunderbirds,
Okay.
Yeah.
which is Air Force, right?
Yeah, the F-16s.
Yeah, the Air Force, and they roll with gear like they have tents and like they're putting on a show.
That's cool.
They have
That's my favorite jet of all time.
Oh really?
The F-16.
Why?
I fell in love with it, and that's what they were flying in Iron Eagle. it's really like I remember some dude like just
That's
I was-
your favorite was Roost Goose.
my favorite jet.
Oh,
okay,
yeah.
okay.
Come on
Fair
now,
enough.
favorite
Not
planes.
the one
is-
from Top Gun, buddy.
No, dude, I just
Okay,
watched
Goose.
that. It's so
They play
bad.
that music, man. Oh.
Every
Boom,
client I have,
don't
the
sing it.
second we get
Okay,
them
uh-huh.
surround sound, the first movie they put on is Top
Top
Gun.
Are you
Gun.
serious?
Mm-hmm.
That's what my uncle did when he put it in.
I would have
Sound.
First
done
thing.
Saving Private Ryan.
It's so cheeseball, man. We watched Top Gun like recently. It was just like so bad.
It is pretty terrible. When
Oh.
rewatch it. There's a lot of movies though. If you rewatch what you used to like when back in the day, there's a lot.
Not as good as you
there's
remember.
a lot of
Wait,
shit.
so when I was a kid, I remember I was at either Edwards Air Force Base or I was somewhere, and I was little, and I was like, I love the F-16, and this old dude is like, why? It's like it's only got one engine. F-15's got 2 engines over there. Just like totally just, like
Just
denounce
shit-
me. Yeah,
just shit over
It's a little
everything.
kid,
But
dude.
you know what? You remembered.
I did. Yeah, fuck that guy.
The guy was a dick.
But he was just like, it was like, come on, dude. You'd be like, that's a stupid choice.
It's funny how sometimes adults will like treat a kid like a young kid. I remember I was like 7 or 8. I met this guy. I shook his hand. He's like, "What are you doing?" I was like, "What do you mean I'm shaking your hand?" And he's like, "You squeeze a man's hand."
I never understood that. Like, what are we trying
And
to
I was
do?
like, "Okay." Then
Why did you do the thumb and the 2 fingers?
No,
shake?
he had my hand, but I didn't do
And he
any
kissed
kind of
his hand.
grip.
It
I
was
was a
awkward.
kid. I was just like a kid, so I didn't know.
We just kids, Mox.
So like at 9, I knew how to like shake somebody's hand.
And it's
Yeah.
important skill, right?
Yeah.
I think
Look where it's gotten you in life.
some adults don't get that kids
Oh,
don't have that lifetime
Yeah.
experience
I know.
that they
what
have.
the fuck are you not knowing about this?
What are you, stupid?
I'm 6.
Which one is this one, dude?
This is the opening scene of Top Gun. Whoa!
Whoa.
What is that?
It's German
German.
subtitles.
Oh, the
Yeah.
YouTubes.
No, dude, it's so cheesy. It was so bad I couldn't stop watching it.
It is pretty terrible.
1986, though. That's what you get.
Be your wingman,
That was 86?
86.
Mike. I'm gonna be your wingman.
Bullshit.
That's
I am.
creepy.
You could be
Don't
mine.
talk that way.
I'm gonna
Wait.
be your wingman.
No, you're already telling me you could be my wingman.
Oh,
Dude, Val Kilmer's character is so like creepy and cheesy. Like, man, this was the movie though.
This was.
This was the movie.
it was, and I'll tell you what.
Was this
man.
before Cocktails?
No,
Cocktails was first.
No. Cocktails was after this, I think.
Yeah, dude, because he just slayed everybody in that.
Googet, because I think Cocktails was before.
It was
this.
just him working at a bar, just fucking going to town on all the chicks that come through. Like that's what you get when you make.
It's no Roadhouse, but
It's no Roadhouse.
Oh, speaking of cheesy shit.
88.
Kill this shit.
Cocktails.
Cocktail is after.
Cocktails 88.
Honestly,
this is
I've
86.
never seen this in whole.
You never seen the whole movie?
Its full entirety.
You got to watch it because it's so bad.
Well, you're telling me podcasts have no ending, so we can just sit here and watch it.
Oh, we can. I was going to put on Roadhouse the fight scene.
That's too. That'll go for another hour.
Right.
Also,
I
Red
would-
Dawn, my other favorite.
Oh God, yeah.
Is that another Ridley Scott movie? Right?
No.
No, but it's another. What's his face? Patrick's.
Oh,
Swayze.
Patrick Swayze.
The Sways.
You know that scene in Roadhouse where he fights for like 20 minutes?
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're putting it on right now.
I want Joe Rogan and the other dude that he commentates with the UFC
to commentate
to
that?
commentate that
That'd be good.
scene.
They're going to do They Live.
Dude, this is too long.
No, what does he say, though? Like, he said something about jail sex or prison rape
Yeah,
or
it's
something.
weird. And I never seen this movie. You guys showed
It's
this
very
to me.
homoerotic.
Roadhouse? You've never seen Roadhouse?
No, but I've seen this scene.
Look at this, dude. I love this scene so much.
As someone who hates movies, I have seen Roadhouse.
I'm just going to chase you with my shirt off.
Well,
Oh,
Jump.
man. Wham, right off the bike. If you guys haven't seen this, YouTube the fight scene in Roadhouse. It's the where he jumps on him on the motorcycle.
yeah. It's a
delightful.
mullet.
They have good hair. That is good hair.
Right?
And I say fight scene, but there's more than one fight scene in this movie. How did you find this particular scene?
How did I find it?
he's
I
enamored
was
by
into
it.
it, dude. I was getting into it.
Look at that roundhouse kick.
Okay. Do you like Rambo?
I love Rambo.
I also enjoy a good Rambo.
Do you really? What kind of movies do you watch?
All right, kill this.
Oh, sorry.
Usually-
Everybody's getting sucked in.
Usually it's my husband who says I grew up with a sister and my dad was never kind of like into any of this boy movie stuff, and he's horrified / fascinated that I haven't seen any of these movies that were very pivotal in his life at that
Like a
point.
Goonies
So
type
Goonies,
Love it.
Rambo, all the Rockies, every last one of them.
Predator. I remember watching
I've seen Predator. I've seen all that stuff. And, I mean,
Tremors.
Terminator 2.
Terminator 2, yes.
Dude, even the first one holds up to this day.
It's not bad, but I do like my Rocky more.
Oh, yeah.
I love Rocky 1. Sean and I were talking about this the other day. I love Rocky 1.
I
It's
think
like one of
4 is my
movies.
favorite.
I'm not going to lie, the last one
4 was good when I was a
great.
kid.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
I watch a lot
Happy
of
birthday, Polly.
I watch a lot of Muppets.
The new Muppets?
New Muppets. I'm liking some
I
of
like
them.
the old Muppets.
Well, I like the old Muppets, but
Like Labyrinth.
oh.
You ever
We
seen
went
that?
and
That
saw.
shit's
Well,
good.
no, we went and saw. What's the one with the? God, Tron. We saw Tron in the movie theater, the new one.
Jeff Bridges?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't like it. I mean,
It wasn't great.
It didn't
Wasn't
work
great.
for me.
And I've never.
But
that was
I
the
never
first
liked
time I
the first
saw.
Tron anyway. When I was a kid, I was like, "What is this?"
Oh,
This is-
blasphemy!
I got to take that soundbite out
Yeah.
of the.
Take that.
No,
Just
you
get
liked
rid
the
of it.
first Tron? I remember trying to watch
No,
it.
no, no,
going,
no.
"What
The
am
one
I-"
you're like, I didn't like it.
Oh my God. 2 snaps and a Z formation.
Is that what we did for Palmdale News? That's how we got to you?
Yeah. I
Oh.
guess.
All right.
You
Anyways,
won't play my song.
we want to thank Catie for coming out
Thank
finally.
you guys
It
for
was-
having us.
This is a great
Wasn't so
podcast.
bad, right?
It was a nice one.
Painless.
What a nice room you guys record in.
Thank you. If it wasn't for.
We just need to add a koi pond in here.
I could make that happen.
I want right here. There's a little window, fish aquarium right there.
Ooh.
If you can dream it, we can do it.
Ooh.
That's the slogan.
That's the
So,
slogan.
you guys have a Twitter feed if the people want to get out there because
We
I know
are-
we got some barbecue fans out there.
At NC2QBBQ, our team name is Nothing Compares to Q. And
We'll put the link up on the website for you guys.
if you, it's the Sinead O'Connor perform song written by Prince. And
Nothing compares to you.
Nothing compares to you, but to Q. And we are headed to Wildemar in the next week, if I can figure out where Wildemar is.
Is that
And
Harry
then-
Potter?
I don't know. I hear it's by Lake Elsinore, which I also don't know where that is.
Oh yeah, I know
Yeah.
where that's at.
Okay. But thank you guys for having me.
Thanks for
And
coming
the
out.
dogs.
And thank you guys all out there for listening. You gonna play this song to get us out of here?
No.
Thanks a lot, guys.
Thank you.
having it too late.
Fourteen North Radio.
I love bears. All right.
Yeah, all right.